You must remember this, a kiss is still a kiss.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine. Humphrey Bogart, Casablanca. Probably one of the finest films ever made, and certainly the best movie that was ever made about cocktails. I'm going to feature a cocktail today that has a starring role in Casablanca. If you remember in the film, Bogey, he rejects Yvonne, his mistress, and she storms off into the night, and she shows up later on the arm of a German soldier. And when they come in, they order a French 75. A couple of other cocktails that are featured in that we'll get to one of these days is the champagne cocktail. And of course, Paul Heinrich comes in and orders for him, and Ingrid Bergman says, two Cointreau. Oh, it's so stylish and it's so beautiful. So, because of Bogey saying it's a gin joint, this week it's a gin drink, the French 75. It's actually named after the 75 millimeter howitzer gun that was used by the French army during the First World War, was used against the German army. So there's a beautiful little irony in there that the German soldier comes in and orders a French 75 cocktail, usually made with cognac. It was originally made with cognac. It was made with an apple brandy, Calvados, if you can find it, regular brandy. But because of that gin joint reference, it's traditionally these days made with gin. So let's have a look at it. First thing you want to do is you want to put 2 ounces of gin. I like a 2-ounce pour. I don't know why. It's just me. I was looking for that for a week. I couldn't find it. There it was. So you want to take 2 ounces of gin. There's 2 ounces of gin. And we're going to pour it into the cocktail shaker. We should have put in some ice to start with. So there's a whole bunch of ice that goes into it as well. Then simple syrup. Simple syrup is really, it couldn't be easier to make. Take equal parts white sugar and water. Maybe, I don't know, start with, why not a 1/4 cup of sugar and a 1/4 cup of water. Put it on the stove. You can boil it up. You just want to dissolve that sugar in the water and it will stay clear. It will stay in suspension. The next couple of weeks, we're going to do some tiki drinks and we're going to use some Mai Tai syrup. Simple thing that's done with demerara sugar. Gives it a little more density. We want to put in 1/4 ounce. Just 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. We want to put in 1/4 ounce of fresh lemon juice. Always. You can make this with lime too if you don't have lemons. It's a really interesting little twist on the drink, but lemon is kind of what's traditional. There we are. Boom. Now we've got that. We've got it in our shaker. And let's give it a shake. Let's shake her up. Because there's that beautiful scene, then Yvonne comes back into the bar with the soldier, and they sing the Marseillaise to spite the German army. And then at the end, she says, Vive la France! So, Vive la France was this church. She was actually the last remaining credited member of the cast of Casablanca. She passed away just a couple of years ago. She was in her very late 90s. Okay, so we finished cooling it down. We're going to put it into a glass. These days, it's kind of traditional to serve champagne in a flute glass, but the way that I think it would have been served by Sasha, the bartender in Rick's, would have been in a coupe glass. It's a bit more retro, it's a bit more old school. So let's do that. Let's go ahead. We'll pour our cocktail into there. There we are. Looks beautiful. Now, if you were to pour this very same drink into a highball glass with lots of ice and add club soda, you'd have a Tom Collins. But we're going to go in a little bit of a different direction. What we want to add to this then is champagne. Now, in Rick's, of course, it would be champagne. I think it was the Veuve Clicquot 1926 is what Captain Renault, about what Claude Rains asked for when he demanded champagne. So it would have been something very classic. But traditional champagne is very expensive these days. But Prosecco is a fantastic, and it also comes in splits. So if you don't want to open the whole bottle, you can do that. So now you want to top this cocktail up with champagne, sparkling wine. Oh, man. And then we've got a little bit of a lemon zest. So we're going to twist that over, get those oils out. Always we'll just give it a little rub, so no matter which part of the glass, we're going to float that in the drink. Wow. There it is. A French 75. How beautiful is that? Here's looking at you, kid. Oh, heaven. You know, just remember, COVID-19 may drive you to drink, but don't let it drive you to drink and drive. Stay safe, be well. See you next week.
You must remember this, a kiss is still a kiss, a